What's going on? I got a comment in the expired film video that we just released about how we roll our Vision 3 stock into film cans to shoot in 35 millimeter still cameras. So this is a really brief breakdown, and I'm not going to show you much about like how I spool. I'll walk you through it, but how I spool this onto what would be a 100-foot bulk load, which has a much smaller hole in the middle. You can actually put something like this. This is just dummy film that I use for scratch test, but you could use this you could use this in the bulk loader. It'll kind of move around in there, but the only thing you're worried about is getting the film from here onto into this cartridge. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to buy some Vision 3. This is 5219. This is their latest 500 speed film. It's a tungsten film. This does have the rim jet back, so you have to remove that if you're going to cross process it in C41. So essentially what I do is I get this, I spool it onto what would be like a 100-foot bulk load that you could buy in Portra or HP5 or any kind of still film will sell you 100-foot bulk loads. And I haven't found where you can buy the cores for those, but I'm sure that they're out there. If you did enough research, you could probably find where the cores for a 100-foot bulk load for the bulk load, little bulk load canister here. So anyway, so we get this. I typically just take this and put it in a light tight bag, a film changing bag, and I spool it down onto one of the bulk load, 100-foot bulk load cores. And then I put it in this right here. And this, for those of you that are familiar with it, this is just a 100-foot, 35 millimeter bulk load film loader. And it essentially just has a little door in here. When this is shut, you can essentially open the door, which lets the film pass through without scratching it. But the door's shut. You can pop this open, and you see there's film in there right now. This is actually 5219. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you really quickly. This is more of a tutorial on how to bulk load film than anything. I don't know if this is really helping you out with how I'm getting Vision 3 into a canister, but it certainly is the easiest way I've found. You could certainly do it by hand. It's a little tedious. A lot of this process is by hand though. So the first thing we're going to do is these are canisters that are like, I don't know, $1.98 from B&H. They're plastic. They're really nice. They're reusable. You can see that they come apart really easily, which is nice. You don't need to pry them open with a can opener or anything like that. So I'll just go ahead and load some 5219 into this guy so you can see how we do it. So first thing we're going to do is you need to make sure that this door is shut. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but it says open and closed, and it's called the gate. So the gate is open now and closed now. So you can't open this door right here when this is in the open position. You would just expose all the film that's inside here. So with it closed, we're going to open this up, and you can see there we've got our 5219. We're going to grab our canister, and essentially what you need is the core in this canister. I like to think of it as when I'm loading this into my still camera, and I'm guessing most still cameras are like this, but I'm not really sure about that. The nub right here has to be facing down, with the film emulsion facing down this way. So you see the little felt lining. So what I do is I'm going to load it with this up in here because it's the opposite way. So what we'll do first is pull this out, grab some gaff tape or any kind of tape that's going to hold this tight. And we're going to tape the end of the film. I hope that y'all can see this. Just like that. So what we'll do is throw this onto here. So you're back into your film canister. Get that all put together. That's not right. There we go. And we'll want to load it into this little crank right here is what's actually going to advance the film. So you just kind of make sure that this is sitting in these the perfs are sitting in these little nubs here, because that's going to count your film. So that's going to count 36 frames for you. Go ahead and shut that. And then make sure your counter is at 0. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little counter on here, and as you advance the film, it's going to move it. It's going to count it off for you. So one thing that I've done several times and just ruined a bunch of film because it scratches it is that I don't open the gate. So once you get the door closed, make sure you open the gate, and then all you're going to do is, and you can hear it click. So each one of those is a frame, a still frame. So 8 perfs. And we're just going to watch here, 30. I go a little bit further, almost back to the 0. And then you're going to want to close the gate because you don't want to expose your film in here. And then you can open the door back up. And there's your freshly loaded 5219. Remove that out of there. And then I just snip that. Done with this guy. Make sure to get that all closed back up. Also make sure you're labeling everything properly. And then I just take, and so this is facing down, I'm calling it the nub. Someone will probably correct me on that. And then I just take this, and just like a standard roll of film, I just take and cut a little tab right there so you can slide it into your into the take-up side of your film camera. And that's a freshly loaded roll of 5219. Now, the only lab that I know of in the States is qwdlab.com. They will process this stuff for you. This has the rim jet, so the rim jet has to be removed. If you shoot cine still, you know that they've removed the rim jet, and then you can just process it in C41. I have nothing against cine still. I think it's probably great film. I've never actually personally shot some, only, watched on YouTube what people say about it, and I've seen the comparisons. And one of the things that I notice is that you're cross-processing it. So you're processing it in a chemical that it was never meant to be processed in. So I feel like you lose a lot of that flat, like beautiful, crazy amount of latitude that ECN2 gives you, which is why I still shoot ECN2 film and prefer it be processed in ECN2 chemical if you can get it done. Again, it's a very difficult thing. So small batch isn't something you can just send. You can't just shoot this and send it to a film lab and they're going to take care of it for you. They want 400 feet, 1,000 feet, 5,000 feet. They want, film out of a motion picture film camera. So I hope that helps and answers your question. So if you jump online, you can buy, you can go to Kodak and buy 400 feet of Vision 3 and load a lot of 36 frame rolls. I think you can get 18 36 frame rolls out of 100 feet. So, almost 80 rolls out of 400 feet. So that's a lot of frames. Anyway, until next time,